Watch our show, Dil Se Expertise. Plan a good holiday. Founders of LTM, Let's Talk Money. Specific life goals. And we have guests on our show who are experts in the field. There's a lot more. Amazing. Good evening, and thank you so much for making it to this session. And if we haven't already met, my name is Bhuvna Shriram. I'm a certified financial planner, wealth manager, teacher, video blogger, mom, founder and CEO of Plan to Prosper. Plan to Prosper is a boutique financial planning and wealth management company. We help successful, busy corporate working professionals grow their wealth and generate enough passive income and build the best life for them with the money that they have so that they can spend their time on what really matters most to them. So in this lockdown, we've been trying to put across, bring people on our show to talk about what is very relevant at this point in time. We've had speakers coming in from investments, from derivatives, from crypto, from wills and succession planning, from loans to talk about Morat. In fact, last week we had a guest talk about what are consulting assignments for people who are losing their jobs now. So we've been trying to bring as much relevant content to people at this point in time. So, at the end of the session, I'd just ask a few minutes from all of you all to just give me some more inputs on who can we bring on the show, what is topmost in your mind. So if you can give us some inputs, then we'll try and, bring some amazing people. Today in our session, oh, by the way, okay, all our previous sessions are available on social media, on YouTube, on Twitter, on Facebook, on Insta and LinkedIn. So these are our handles. So please reach out. You can find all the recordings, incredible, lovely, beautiful, high quality content out there. So feel free to access it. Free for everyone, so because we all need knowledge, right? So today in our session we have Manish. Thank you, Manish, for coming on our show. I'm really privileged to have Manish here. Manish is a general insurance expert, somebody with whom I go a long way. One of the initial people I met when I came to Bombay and tried to put this business together. Manish, he says he's had 50 years experience in this industry, but he's not 50. He doesn't even look 40.
Thank you.
But the truth is that he's been in general insurance industry since 1994. Okay, when I was probably in school. So he's been doing this for so long. So I can't imagine how much of a wealth of wisdom he's going to come and share with us today. I have a lot of questions for him about general insurance. It's topmost in our mind at this point in time. We're all worried. COVID is something that's, it's there. I don't think we can do much about it. Hospitalization is pretty much staring at our face. And I've had people in the family being infected, not here, but in Chennai. And hospitalization expenses are tough. Apparently, we've had 3-4 hospitals here who have packages anywhere between 2 lakhs and 15 lakhs. Okay, so but our health insurance companies meeting these expenses? Are they paying for these bills? So these are questions that we have. What if I have to stay at home and get quarantined? So I have a whole lot of questions to ask you, Manish, and I'm sure the audience also have very relevant questions to ask. While we will focus on COVID and how we can handle this, as an expert in general insurance, you must have also a lot of other knowledge about health insurance and how it can help people. So for the audience sake, we will, it will be a conversation. I will be asking Manish questions, but if you have questions, please put them on the chat box. I'll take those questions and we'll ask Manish that. Please keep yourself in mute and, also don't put the videos off so that we can focus on Manish when he's talking to us. Right. So Manish, so this is topmost in our mind. Thank you so much for coming to our show, Manish. First things.
Thank you, Bhuvna, for having me here.
Yeah, so it's it comes when I just called him and asked him, he didn't blink. He immediately said okay. So this is topmost in all our minds, Manish, which is COVID, our insurance. We're getting different kind of reports. Some insurance companies are not giving cashless, some are not accepting. So what is it like? What's the situation? I know that IRDA said all insurance companies should agree. So give us some inputs on that.
See, the first and foremost question should be that people buy insurance policy cover COVID or not? That is the first and foremost. Yes, every insurance medical policies are covering COVID.
Okay.
It is mandatory now by the government. So this COVID is covered, one thing. Second thing, when you ask me the cashless. Cashless is basically a two-way process. It is not one-way process.
Okay.
Insurance company is empaneled with the hospital and they provide a cashless facility like how we do it for our vehicle, right? If you go
Okay.
to a workshop and they have a tie-up with insurance company, they do it cashless. Similarly here also,
Hmm.
but now what is happening due to COVID, the hospitals do not have that bandwidth, or
Okay.
maybe they are in need of cash or whatever. Because if they have a tie-up, they have some certain rules and norms to follow with the insurance company, and they might not be follow that rules. So some hospitals are not providing cashless facility for any insurance company, and some are providing. It's not that every hospital is not providing, but yes, some of the hospitals are not there.
Okay. Is there a list of hospitals where we can reach out and find out they provide cashless, they don't provide cashless? Can that?
No, no way. Because you have to ask them. Each and every time you have to ask them. Because tie-up is such that every day it change. It get changed.
Okay.
So you have to ask the nearest hospital whether they have the cashless facility of my hospital, my uh, policy or not. If it is there, you can go there.
Okay. Okay. So, but then insurance companies are not changing these norms, right? It's more the hospital that's asking for this.
Yes, 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 yes.
So, also help me understand, these days, even doctors are discouraging us to go to hospitals, right? If it's a very mild infection, then they say just treat yourself at home. But then even then, if you have to get that oxygen and this and that and all, can that be covered in the insurance? Does it?
Actually speaking, no, because your health insurance policy covers only hospitalization.
Okay.
And after doing all those things, if you are going to hospital, or if you have to be hospitalized, then these expenses might be covered under this. You can reimburse that bill from insurance
Okay.
company. Otherwise, no. Otherwise,
Otherwise,
they will not.
if you're treating at home, there's no cover.
No, no, nothing.
Are there any exclusions? Is there something that the COVID will not be covered for a certain time, or I don't know. So,
There is no exclusion as such, but if you see that you have to see your policy. There are so many policies which says one single room, or the capping on the room 1% of sum assured, something like that. If at all it increases, then your bill get automatically deducted from the total entire bill proportionately.
correct.
And in a current situation, if there is no single room and you have to go for a higher class, then also it's a problem. Otherwise, there is no exclusions on that. One exclusion is there, but it's an old exclusion, which is consumables like mask, PPE kits, cotton, all those things. But it's not new. It's old because it's an old policy. I think it's going on with the legacy and which was not covered. So now it is also not covered. But now it is pinching to everyone because hospitals are charging like bomb, like yeah, all PPE kits and masks and cottons and so they are charging 50-60,000 for that only. So
So,
now that is pinching to everyone. But otherwise, no exclusion as such in the policy for that.
okay, okay. So,
One more thing I would like to highlight here: if you are buying a fresh policy,
yeah,
there is always a waiting period. Okay,
okay,
so it's not a day one cover that you bought that policy and your COVID is covered. It's not that. It's a 15 days or 30 days, depend upon the policy to policy. It's a waiting period for that particular thing.
but usually in these policies, within the waiting period, also, if it's an accident or something, it's covered, right?
Yeah, only accidents are covered.
COVID is not covered. COVID is an
COVID is
accident.
not.
No.
We can say that, but it's not covered. Actually, it is a virus.
Yeah, I mean, I'm only saying it's like an accident, right? If you go out only, you will get it. If you stay at home, it's like an accident. If you go out. If you're not careful, you will get it. If you're careful, you will not get it. So I'm just trying to make some sense. Yeah. Okay. So you're saying that for home treatment, they will not get anything.
No, nothing.
Okay, good. I think we have one question. I'll ask you. Then there are a lot of other questions that I have in my list. We have seen bills of 4 lakhs having PPE expenses of 2.5 lakhs. is this even admissible? So I think this is an interesting question because I read a report that said insurance companies want to cap hospitals to cap the expenses. And hospitals are saying no, they cannot, or there's some kind of tussle happening. I read a few newspaper articles about it. Is there any chance that the government will intervene and cap these expenses? Well, anything like that?
Government is doing the needful, but I don't think it's happening in near future.
Okay.
I don't know what is the commercial of this, all this, PPE kits and all that. But yes, I agree that, that hospitals are charging exorbitantly. And in COVID, actually, unless and until you are very critical, you don't have to go to ICU, right? And you don't need a special care. But before that, if you are hospitalized, then these things are going to follow. So there is no, you cannot abscond from this, and you have to shell out this money because the insurance company is not going to pay. In the current situation.
That's very clear, is it? They're not going to pay.
Clear.
There are some special COVID policies also, no? I was reading about that.
Yes. Currently, what happened, government has made it mandatory for any office or factories to give this insurance to, actually it is a comprehensive insurance for their employees. But because this is a tough time for everyone, people are just ignoring that comprehensive, and people are buying that COVID only policy. COVID only policy is there, but it's only currently it is only for employer-employee only relationship. But in just last 2 days, I'm getting news that they are making it mandatory for each and every insurance company to provide COVID cover for individuals also. So if you see, if it can be available in just 10-15 days, hopefully that they will give this COVID cover to everyone.
So is that COVID cover, at least will they cover PPE costs?
No.
That looks like the biggest cost, right? In the whole. What Sujata is telling us here, out of the 4 lakh bill, the PPE cost is the 2.5 lakhs.
Yes, I have seen 16 lakh bill.
Oh God.
I've seen, but I mean, that is other part of the story from the hospital side. So let's ignore that. But yes, this is what is happening currently. People are saying that in log ne to dukaan khol diya hai, but this is a contingent time, and you will see that those kind of people are doing this thing. And very frankly speaking, even hospitals must be struggling with all those things, because if the COVID patient is there, you cannot take other patients. There are people, the staff is is running away from all those things. They are also having COVID now. The entire hospital running at only 25% or 50% capacity. So probably that it's not only one side story. There could be other side of story from hospitals also.
Correct. Yeah, I mean, I hear you. So this is there's another question she's asking. This is for 1 day treatment, 14 days. How do you account for 2.5 lakhs in 14 days? So yeah, so that's what I think Manish is saying. He saw a 16 lakh bill, right? So
yeah,
I mean, I think it's unprecedented times, and everybody around us are suffering with this. We just have to be a little more empathetic about the insurance companies, also the hospitals, also.
Absolutely.
Right? Yeah. Right. So, I mean, help us just understand a little more about what is the claim process, if cashless is not allowed, or if there is no bed in a hospital that accepts cashless, and then we are forced to go to a hospital that does not accept. What is the process for claim? I mean, how do we go about that?
See, if there is a cashless procedure, then it's simple. You just show them your insurance policy, and they'll do the needful. They'll inform the insurance company. They will send all the documents to them. But if it is not cashless facility, if you are not availing that, then first thing what you have to do is inform insurance company. That I've been admitted. Yes, information is very, very critical, because you have to inform within 48 hours.
Within 48.
Yes, I've been hospitalized. That you have to inform them.
Okay.
Keep all the papers with you, whatever the smallest chit, all the papers with you, so that it will be useful for you to reimburse that. Prescription हो गया, छोटा से छोटा bill है आपका, medicine है, everything, the reports, the receipts, keep everything in original. Don't misplace it, because they will ask everything. If you want to reimburse something, if you are paying some money to hospitals, then you have to take that receipts also.
Receipts
Keep
also.
that with the receipts
Okay.
and make a copy. And then you submit, whenever you are fine. 30 days is fine. After 30 days also you can file,
Okay.
but within 30 days you should file your main claim.
Okay.
Precautions you have to take.
Okay. And how long does it usually take for the claims to be settled?
Good question. In the current situation, I don't know, because insurance company is not working with the full bandwidth. They also, people are working from home. There are some queries, how would you give them original documents? They are saying now, this lockdown is over. Give us the original documents. Why they ask original document? Because they have a fear that you will also claim this amount from other insurance company.
Okay.
That is why because you cannot claim twice.
Correct.
You cannot make profit. So that is why they ask you the original documents. So if they are asking, currently what they are doing, they are asking you the scan copies of entire documents, but later on you have to submit it. Currently saying that they will settle this in 30 days or 15 days, I don't think so. It's coming, because I am getting at least 10 claims in a month, and I'm not seeing that it's been settled in 30 days or 40, even 40 days.
Yeah. Yeah. But usually
Manage
it's settled in 15 days, right? That's like the normal.
30 days in a private, yes, private companies, they usually settle within 30 days or time. PSU, yes, they take 45 days.
45 days. Okay. 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 So I was just saying, I've been not in now I don't do it, but in the past, always paid my insurance premiums after the due date within the grace period. Right, there's a 15-day grace period. So I mean, I've always had this doubt, while I can renew the policy, will claims be accepted during the grace period if I ever have to, if I didn't pay? I mean,
I
I don't.
advise not to use that grace period, because grace period is just giving you क्या बोलते हैं, आपको एक चांस दिया है कि that you can renew that again. Okay, but in that grace period, if there is a claim, insurance company will not admit it.
Will not
First
admit
thing.
the claim.
No. Second thing, if at all there is a claim in that in between, and if it is a bigger claim or a critical illness is there, they will not cover it for the lifetime.
Okay.
Okay, they will not cover it for the lifetime. They have to renew it, but they will renew it for some, because it's mandatory. But they will not cover that, for the lifetime, because you have to declare that sorry.
They put it as an exclusion because this was.
Yes. They'll put an exclusion. So in this 15 days, 30 days, whatever is the grace period, don't use that grace period. Don't say that, okay, 30 दिन का grace and I'll do it later. Don't do that. Do it on time. Because in general insurance or in health insurance, 12 o'clock, if your day is over, it means over. There is no admissibility of claim.
Okay. The cover is gone. So you.
Gone is gone. Yes. Gone is gone.
So we were talking about claims. So I'm just trying to, for the benefit of the audience, saying inform the insurer within 48 hours of admission, and then keep all the bills and all receipts if you're going cashless, and then submit the bills for claim with the proper forms and all within 30 days of discharge from the hospital.
Right.
And then keep your fingers crossed and wait.
Yes.
Right. I know. I mean, we're just trying to make fun of it, but it's not even funny, right? So
It's not funny.
yeah. Okay. So, I mean, while we are talking about it, we are open to questions from the audience. If you have questions, please do ask while we're talking about COVID and insurance and, how companies are dealing with it. These are difficult times. But meanwhile, Manish, this can be a great wake-up call for many people, right? So, for people who've been putting away taking a health insurance or taking, proper cover, adequate insurance. So now a 10 lakh cover we used to think is like good. Right, at 10 lakh, 15 lakh. Now it doesn't look like anything is good, right? Tell me what's like an ideal number. How much insurance do we need? While people are thinking about taking the health insurance, how much should we look at taking?
Initially, what we used to do, we give 5 lakh cover for the rural areas. I mean, I don't mean a rural area or the 2-tier city or 3-tier city. For metro, we used to give them a 10 lakh floater policy. But that was why the 10 lakh rupees, because we thought that everybody is not going to, fall sick at a single time or one time. But now it's not that. If you fall sick or you get infection, the entire family is going to get infection. So now 10 lakh cover is no more valid. Okay,
Yeah.
it's not valid. It doesn't sound 10 lakh hi hai, it's like that. You
Yeah.
should keep something about 30 lakhs if at all you are in metro.
Oh my
If
God.
you are in metro, then you have to keep this cover for you. 30 lakh rupees.
So, I mean, are there high policy covers, high volume covered? Like I can take a 50 lakh cover or a 1 crore cover and all that?
Yeah, you can. Every company has a different bands. Some has 50 lakhs, some say 1 crore. It depends upon their band, but yes, it is available. 50 lakhs, 1 crore, 25 lakhs, 45 lakhs, whatever you say, it is available.
Okay, okay, okay. So I've been getting a message from Sujata. We had a client request for additional cover in the existing times, which will also cover consumables expense. We suggested an extra cover from an insurer who covers this for now and quote current policy next year. Is this a good option? So she's asking, you took an extra cover for that will cover consumables. So she's saying there's probably some cover that covers consumables.
Yeah, currently there is one insurance company that they have introduced one optional cover to take.
Okay.
That this where this consumables are covered, but every insurance company is not doing that.
Okay.
It's an optional cover which is been provided by one company. I'll not name it, but yes, only one company has provided up till now. Or maybe later on, the other company will follow the suit. But currently, it's only one company.
Okay, okay. But if somebody wants to take that policy, unless you tell us which company it is, we won't know. So,
Yeah, it is Apollo Munich Health Insurance.
okay.
They have one optional cover for this.
Okay, okay. So Sujata says she advised that you take this extra cover, extra cover that includes consumables and port the policy next year. So don't port the policy now, right? So that's
No way, no way. I don't agree on quoting this time. But okay, if at all your policy is if I don't know her age, if the age is relevant, then you can quote it, no problem at all. If the company is giving you a full benefit of your existing policy, then you can quote it. It's not an issue.
not an issue.
But if you are at the age of 60, 65, then it becomes difficult because that company has to admit the entire portability and the continuity that you have to see. If the company is giving you that continuity benefits, then you can put it. It's no harm in that.
Yeah. Okay. So Sujata, I hope that answers your question. She's saying it's HDFC Ergo. I think they're both the same company.
Yeah, it's now Apollo Munich has become a HDFC Ergo Health.
Health, yeah. Okay, so it's the same company. So that's the company that now covers consumables, but at what cost we don't know. But today I don't think we're really worrying about the cost.
Yes.
Yeah. So Dipali is asking, so we assume all insurance policies we hold will be default cover, by default cover COVID. So that she wants a confirmation on that.
Yeah. By default it is covered, but new policy it is after 30 days waiting period.
Okay.
Ask your agent or broker or anyone how much is the waiting period.
Okay.
Otherwise, yes, by default it's covered. It's a virus basically. It's a virus. Flu is covered, right? So why it's a virus? It is covered.
Okay. So Dipali, I hope that answers your question. Your existing health insurance policy, if you have a sufficiently large health insurance policy, it will cover COVID. Right now, a 10 lakh, 15 lakh also looks like very little. So you might want to enhance those limits if that's possible and still wait 30 days for that new cover to take effect, right? So we were talking about portability, Manish. So tell us a little more. What is this portability thing? Is it a good idea to port policies? So what is the benefit of doing the porting?
Portability is basically that you don't like this company or you are unhappy with the company or the conditions and you want to port to some other better policies. Okay. So in this entire situation, if the portability is there, you have to see that they are giving your continuity benefit. Continuity means every policy has some limits or exclusions for waiting periods.
Okay.
So if I say I'm buying a new policy, there is a 30 days waiting period for COVID or anything. Okay. There are other diseases where there are two years waiting period. Few diseases, 18 to 20 diseases, they have defined the disease.
Okay.
If you have a pre-existing conditions, then they are saying that we'll cover our 3 years or 4 years. Or if you have a particular disease like knee replacement, they'll say, oh, I will cover after 3 years or 4 years.
Okay.
So it's a new policy, right? When you have another old policy and you have already surpassed 4 years period, and then now you are porting it,
Yeah.
then they should admit the entire portability, that they will cover this, they will cover that your pre-existing disease, they will waive the this waiting period, 30 days waiting period, the exclusions what they are saying, then only you should go for all. But that you have to make sure that they are covering that. Portability nowadays is easy. Portability is basically depends upon the company to company how they wanted to take you in. Say now you are coming to me, said that I am going to port this my policy to some other company. The other company, what they'll do, they according to your age and your previous history, they will ask you to go for a test.
Okay.
They'll do the test, and if they are okay with it, they take you in.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So porting is beneficial under what conditions? If the premium lesser or if the coverage better? So when should somebody choose to port?
No, I will not say the premium lesser, or it's not the right thing to do on a premium side. But yes, the conditions. If you see that there are a lot. The old PSU policies, if you see that there are a lot of conditions like 1% room rent capping, 2% ICU capping. There are some doctor charges capping. So these are old policies, and they have put this this exclusions there or limitations there. If it's like that, then you should port it to some other company where there is no limitations.
Okay.
This is what I say.
Okay, good. So Amar has a question here. So he's asking, which is a good health floater insurance plan? 10 lakhs for me, 55 years, and my wife is 50 years. My wife has BP, thyroid, and sugar. So will we get a good health floater policy? That should be approached.
Okay, now since you have a existing conditions, then premium should not be your concern, right? You are looking at a good company which who's ready to take you in. First thing, you go for any good company who can you will do the test and they accept you. I don't know whether it is a portability or not, but I think with this condition, if you are not taking any medication, heavy medications, or you are not on insulin, or you have not been operated, or all those conditions, then the company will see, and on the merit they will do it. And if at all you need more information, you can contact me for that. But on this forum I cannot tell you that which company is good.
Yeah. So Amar, I think you can reach out to Manish because he might be able to custom find out which is the best policy for you, right? So we share. So Sujata has some more questions. We heard some insurers are offering top-up or super top-up cover up to 1 crore on base policy of 5 lakhs. Is this even happening? And does this make sense? Should we take a 1 crore top-up cover?
Why not? Okay, you can take that. There are two policies. There is top-up and super top-up. Let's understand the difference between the two.
Yeah.
Top-up, what it says, say if it is a 5 lakh base policy and I have taken another 10 lakh rupees to top-up policy, then this policy will say that if your policy or your bill exceeds 5 lakh rupees in a single billing I am saying, then only this policy will trigger. Correct. If it is 4 lakh 50,000 or 4 lakh 99,000, this policy will not trigger. Okay. Super top-up, what they say, if you are claiming for in a piecemeal 1 lakh, 2 lakh, 3 lakh, and then also it triggers, it goes above 5 lakh rupees, then you pay. So top-up insurance is now, it's old now. I think nobody buys that because super top-up is there. People are buying super top-up policy. And yes, you can enhance your insurance by super top-up policy. It's a good decision.
Good decision to take up to 1 crore and all that.
Yes. Why not?
So I have another question. So you're saying insurance companies are asking for original bills because they don't want you to make claims with two different companies, right? So I think most people have an insurance cover both from their employers and they might have some cover that they've taken by themselves. Let's say the employer gives you a 5 lakh cover and you have for yourself a 5 lakh cover. If the total bill comes to 10 lakh, why shouldn't I claim from both the companies? I can.
You can, right? If it is 5 lakh rupees, then you cannot claim from both the companies. But if it is 6 lakhs or 7 lakh rupees, then you can claim 5 lakh rupees from here, 2 lakh, 3 lakh rupees from other companies.
But then both the companies are going to ask for original bills.
Yeah, but there is a process for that. But the other company, the first company has to verify the documents and send it to insurance company.
Okay.
For the other 3 lakh rupees or 2 lakh which exceeds their limits.
Okay.
Then it is possible.
Okay. So it's possible to make that claim.
Yes, yes.
Okay. So usually the TPAs will be able to help, no? The TPA desk in the hospital will be able to help with this.
No, the hospitals will not help. But yes, TPA will help. You have to ask them that these documents I need verified from you and I have to submit it to other company. Then they will be provided to you.
They'll provide it. Okay. Good. So Amar is asking, okay, sure, I will reach out to Manish. Can you let me know his contact details? Yes, we will be sharing Manish's contact details, Amar, at the end of the session. Srinath has a question. Do all health insurance policies cover critical illnesses like cancer? Or do we need to take special top-up or policies for critical illnesses? And is COVID critical illness? That's my question. It's not Srinath's question.
COVID is not a critical illness. COVID is not a critical illness. Okay, critical illness and mediclaim is a two different things. Okay, what mediclaim or health insurance will give you is the hospitalization expenses. Okay.
Hospitalization expenses.
Here, critical illness policy will give you compensation once you are detected. Say, I have taken a 5 lakh critical insurance policy and I am detected cancer. Once I am detected, I have to go to insurance company saying that, hey, I see this is my discharge card and all the documents that I've been detected for cancer. So it triggers my critical illness policy. Okay. They will give you 5 lakh rupees without asking.
All of the 5 lakh rupees?
The whole 5 lakh rupees.
Okay.
And health insurance policy, they will reimburse only the medical expenses.
Okay.
These are two different.
Okay. So the critical illness policy is more like a life insurance policy. They just give the money. That's all.
Yes.
And can you renew a critical illness policy after you've made a claim and all that?
No. Once you make a claim, then you cannot. The policy is now void.
Gone, is it? But sometime later I may get some other critical illness, no?
But once you get that critical illness, then after they will not provide you any critical illness.
There's no policy that I can renew and keep critical illness?
No. Because critical illness is critical. And none of the insurance company would like to give you insurance cover for those, critical illnesses.
No, so I understand that see, cancer ka to mil gaya, to ho gaya, and I've recovered and I'm like a survived cancer, right? But I still run the risk of other critical illnesses, no?
Yeah, correct. But once you have claimed that, critical illness, insurance company will not or give you other insurance.
That's the rule. There's no point arguing with you, no?
I know.
Yeah, so Shrikant, I hope that answers your question. Health insurance will cover the hospitalization related to a critical illness, but a critical illness cover will just make that payout. I think that's primarily to compensate for other incidental expenses.
Yes, other incidental expenses.
Okay.
Otherwise, also, you can see it that way. You get other, other amount for your illnesses. So that's fine. If you are taken this 5 lakh, 10 lakh cover and you are getting 10 lakh rupees by just detecting, there are so many other expenses that you will incur if you have a critical illness.
Okay.
This will help. Definitely it will help.
Help and also a loss of income. So if you're recovering for a long period of time.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So can we take multiple critical illness covers? Sujata is asking, can I take critical illness cover from multiple companies? Is that allowed?
Yeah, it's allowed. It is allowed. You can take 10 critical illnesses. No problem at all.
Okay.
No problem. You choose.
Submit bills to critical illness claims, right? I just have to submit.
That the document that I've been detected. That's it. You can take multiple critical illnesses.
Okay. Sujata, I hope that answers your question. So while we were at claims and portability and all that, so health insurance is a constantly evolving industry, right? I think this whole portability, this lifelong renewal, I think that's like a really awesome thing that IRDA did. You can't for painstakingly people pay premium for 60 years and after that 8 years ke baad band. I think that's ridiculous, right? So this lifelong renewability I think has been a blessing. It's amazing, and a lot of new products keep on coming. I keep getting calls, a new policy hai, hai, wo hai. So I mean, what are new age policies? What are good what are things that we should know about what is latest in the health insurance field?
See, now if you say our industry as an insurance industry in India is growing, okay, and currently there are 400 products across the industry, and you will see 3,000 products in coming times because the companies are going to pour in, and the innovation what you have seen that we are giving this, we are giving restoration, so that is, innovation will come because there will be a lot of insurance companies. So currently there are so many policies that see it's about your need, how you take it. If there's a new married couple, if I say 28 30 years, what is their most priority is to get their maternity cover.
Maternity cover.
So for them that is a very important feature for them. So they look for which one is giving the most my maternity treatment. Correct. So other will not look for that. Yeah. So other will look for that, whether I am getting a restoration. Restoration, I hope you understand restoration. Restoration means if you have taken a 5 lakh policy and it is exhausted, then the 5 lakh cover will be given you free. Additional cover. Some company cover for the same illnesses, and some company they will say that the other illnesses. Yes. Okay. So restoration is one of the innovation that you should see that if it is there. Yes, you have to see that there are multiple things that पहले organ donor नहीं काम करते थे, मतलब organ donor नहीं cover करते थे. Now they are covering organ donors. Okay. There are daycare treatments were not covered. Now it is covered. There are mostly 500 daycare treatments are covered under that. Okay. So daycare treatment is like a cataract, right? Okay, correct. So it's like a daycare treatment. So you should look for all those benefits what they are giving, and then you have to choose because there are basket of products. You have to choose what is your need. There are many good policies, but it depends also their premium, your budget, all those things. So you have to define what is your need. What's your need? Okay, yeah. Okay. I think that's interesting. So you go speak to somebody who understands this, give them all your specific conditions and what your requirement is, and then ask for a policy that might best suit the requirement, right? Right. So there is so now you were talking about restoration, and then I hear another term that says recharge. Is the two different things, or is it the same thing in different words? So almost the same thing. Recharge, and it's almost the same thing. They will see recharge is what basically. Restoration says once you exhaust 5 lakh rupees and then it will trigger the restoration. Recharge, what they say, from the day one, it will, restore the other, recharge your another 5 lakh rupees. This is what the difference is. Okay, help me understand. They didn't get it. Okay, didn't get it. Okay. Sorry. So, okay, first we'll talk about restoration. Okay, what restoration is, you exhaust your 5 lakh rupees and your bonuses, and then I'll give you 5 lakh rupees more. Okay. Correct. Recharge is saying that even though you have triggered a 1 lakh rupees claim, okay. We will recharge that 5 lakh rupees in your. Okay, that 1 lakh will be recharged. How much ever you have spent, is it? The entire amount will be recharged. Achha. 5 lakh rupees, 5 lakh cover. You have taken 1 lakh claim. Okay. They will recharge you for 5 lakh. You will have 5 lakh cover. Continue to have 5 lakh cover. Yeah. Okay. That is recharge. Okay, so you don't have to exhaust the limit. Even for smaller claims, you will get. Yes. Okay. Jata has another pertinent question. She says our client had a baby recently with congenital heart defect, but they didn't have a maternity cover. So what kind of advice can we give them? And how does one cover a newborn in such situations in future? Okay, newborn babies are covered up to the maternity limit only. अभी तक ऐसा प्रोडक्ट नहीं आया है जहाँ पे आपको न्यूबॉर्न बेबी को आप कवर कर सकें. So this can be another innovation. Now the next innovation could be that we'll cover the newborn baby. अभी तक नहीं है. Coming back to the congenital heart disease, now since you have that problem, insurance company will not give you any insurance. Okay. Because even though the operation's been done, the doctors are saying all are good, but they will not give you for insurance. I also heard something, Manish, just correct me if my understanding is right. Congenital heart disease is not considered pre-existing. I mean, any congenital condition. Like, yes. Does the pre-existing 4-year apply to congenital conditions?
After 4 years, after the child is 5 years old, can they?
See what happened, I tell you. Congenital heart disease. Sometimes what happened, this internal conditions, you are not aware of these conditions. You
Okay.
discover that in the process.
Okay.
Right? Say you have taken a policy, now it's 4 or 5 years, and suddenly you realize that there is a problem, and this is the problem.
Okay.
So they will cover that.
Yeah.
Okay. Internal congenital diseases are covered.
Okay.
Externals are not.
If I've been unaware of it.
Yeah.
Okay. But if I've been aware of it, the operation has been done,
Then you have to disclose it.
disclose it, and will it be excluded like for lifetime?
It depends. Yeah, it depends upon your disease and condition. They might accept you and they'll say that I will cover it after 3 or 4 years, or they might not accept you and they'll say that I will not cover that.
Okay. Or they might just put it as a permanent exclusion.
Yeah, possible.
So that you get cover for everything else, but not for this.
Not.
Okay. Is there any add-on cover to cover a newborn child? That's what she's asking. I think you've answered it. Yeah. Let's put it up to insurance companies. Maybe their team can come up with something innovative to do it. Yeah. So Sujata, just ask your client to hang in there. Maybe, good times will come. We'll have better, products for them. Yeah. So a couple of things on why do claims get rejected? So I think one of the biggest issues with health insurance is this problem that health insurance of bakwas, you don't get any claim, and when we put a claim they keep saying this one, that one, ye problem hai, wo problem hai, and they keep rejecting the claims. So I mean, we keep hearing that. While there have been many people who got a claim and they've survived it, but health insurance is a constantly disputed area.
It's always going to be disputed, because what happened, it's depend upon the insurance company's culture or how they take it forward, the claims. I come across one case, I'll not name the company, where this lady has some gynec problem and she been operated. They rejected the cashless. I said, okay, if you have rejected, we'll reimburse later on, no problem. And then we submitted the documents. They said, we reject the claim. Why you are rejecting the claim? And they are not ready to give me the answer. I wrote so many letters, so many notices, but they didn't. They say you go to court and there we will produce our evidence. How ridiculous this? You just inform us why you have rejected. That's it. I am asking you, if you have come across some kind of information, then share it with us. If it is valid, we'll say, okay, yeah, because of this you have said no. They ultimately they cancelled her policy. Cancelled her policy. So see, I can go on and on claims, but what I say is, there are always instances with the insurance company. It depends upon the intentions and cultures, how they do it. And
so can you blacklist this insurance company, never go near them again for treating clients like this, right?
Yeah, I do that. I never work with them, because
you have a blacklisted list. So why should we go through that, right? You've done that hard work, so.
Absolutely. So it totally depends upon insurance company to insurance company how they treat this. So, but the foremost reason for the rejection of the claim is, we have seen that it is hidden facts.
Hidden facts.
Customer has not declared their proper illness and diseases.
Okay.
So what happened, if I have a heart disease or I have a BP and diabetes, I am not disclosing today. Okay, fine. But whenever I am going to hospital, I have to tell the doctor that I have been, taking this medicine for heart or, whatever I'm doing since how long. So they are going to come, it's easy for them to know that, this is, it's been old disease. So once that is been shown, I think they will reject the claim, because before taking the policy, you should have disclosed that. And that is fair enough also. Because if you are not disclosing when I am taking your insurance, then onus is on you. It's not on me. But then you say that it has been 4 years and I've been paying premiums since so long and you're rejecting my claim, then it is your fault actually.
No, but then pre-existing, even if it has been existing, after 4 years they have to cover, no?
No, but you have to disclose.
You should have disclosed it.
Yes. Then it is covered after 4 years or 3 years, whatever the policy.
But if I contract something during the year after taking the policy, that also I should go and disclose.
No, then you don't have to disclose it.
Okay.
But
My policy is
taking the
running.
policy, yes. If you're taking the policy, you have to disclose that.
Okay. So Sujata is asking another question saying, what is the definition of pre-existing disease? Are these only lifestyle conditions or anything? So can you help on it?
If I say pre-existing disease means disease, say if I give you example, I get a constant headache, before taking the policy, I never disclose because it's just a headache, But later on, I was detected a tumor, and I told doctor that I am getting that headaches often, very much, aggravated this headaches. Then it is a pre-existing condition that you didn't declare. Simple as that.
Not taking any medication.
Even you are not taking the medication.
Okay.
So very thin line. Pre-existing means that before taking the policy, whatever disease or illness you are carrying, that is called pre-existing.
Whether you know it or not.
Know it or not, nahi. Known disease. Of course, if I am not aware that I have that problem, then nobody can do anything because it was detected there and then. I can't do anything. But if I give you another example for known or unknown, say I have a knee replacement now.
Okay.
On a second year, I have to do the knee replacement.
Okay.
But insurance company will not pay knee replacement, even though it is covered. Okay, because they say this is a progressive disease.
Okay.
Immediately, rato-rat nahi hota hai.
Okay.
So it is a progressive disease. It must be 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, and it's happening right now because now you are saying that I want to do it, but otherwise it is a progressive disease.
Okay, that's why there is the waiting period. No, you will not cover knee replacement in the first 3 years.
That is the reason they have defined that.
Okay.
So it's like that.
So let's assume that I have a knee problem. I disclose it, and after my disclosure, the company gives the cover. Then after 4 years, I can make a claim for it.
Yeah, you can do that. Okay. Once they've accepted you, yes, you can do that.
After they know everything about me, I have opened my kundli to them, and they've agreed to marry me. Then they will honor that.
Okay. Yes.
Okay, then they will not come and say those, right? So we just need to be very clear about that. Okay. So we already discussed this, whether it makes sense to buy insurance from multiple companies. I mean, we spoke about one company being from the employer, then another buying your own. But does it even make sense to buy 2 different policies from different companies? I mean, does it make sense? I'm not making a claim, but is it a good strategy? If not, if one company rejects, then another company can approve.
No, it is not that. See, buying 2 policies is your choice, okay? But otherwise, if you ask me, then increase your insurance in the same policy, okay? Unless and until you cannot get out of that policy, and you have to take a new policy, they are not increasing your sum insured, or they have a limitation in the policy, then you buy another one. Otherwise, there is no need, okay? You just mentioned that in the employer's policy, okay? What people do, I've seen that people don't buy their own policy.
Yeah.
Because they have employers cover. Yeah. But nowadays, I'm seeing that the employers cover as a curtailed. They are reducing the coverage. First they used to cover their parents also. Now they are not covering. Yeah. Or they have 5 lakh covers. Now they are covering only 3 lakh covers. Correct. So it is always better to it's about financial health of the company. If they decide that we don't want to spend, then don't want to spend because their financial health doesn't permit.
Correct.
So it is always better that you should buy your own policy. Always better.
Okay.
This is what I say.
But am I not diversifying my risk by buying 2 companies' policies? One rejects, other takes. Will they talk to each other if one rejects? Is that just asking?
No. Currently, it's not a situation that they talk to each other. But they are making a pool, okay, for your information. They are making a pool where all the information will be in that pool, and they can extract all the details from that. But if you are saying you are asking again and again the 2 policies, I will say you can buy 2 policies, okay. But it doesn't make sense because if this policy gives you better coverage and they can give you what you are asking for, then why buy another policy? Okay, because ultimately what will happen if it is 5 lakh more, say now you have a 6 lakhs claim. And you have 5 lakh here and 5 lakh here. Now you have to go and process entire thing. Then you get a document and a verified. Then you go to another company. This is my claim. They have claimed 5 lakh rupees. They give me 5 lakh. You give me 1 lakh rupees. So that is entire process.
Yeah.
So I feel you should take only one company. This is my.
Okay. So you're saying keep with one company and trust that company to honor. Do your due
They will
diligence.
honor. Why not? They'll honor. Why they'll honor definitely. I've been a claim consultant. I have seen many claims like that. And initially the insurance company say no, and then we put up a point and they pay. It's not that they'll not
Okay,
pay.
so help me understand. If the insurance company initially rejects a claim, then what to do? What can we do?
See the reason why they are rejecting. They have to provide the reason. Okay. Once they provide the reason, say now they are saying that it is a pre-existing condition.
Okay.
Okay. But there is no evidence of pre-existing. You assume that it is a pre-existing condition. Okay. If there is no document, how can you say that it is a pre-existing disease?
Okay.
So on that ground, you can fight with them. See, fighting, I honestly speaking, I don't like fighting. Okay. Because fighting to another.
Likes fighting. Yeah.
So, because it is time consuming and a lot of efforts and money also. So, if it is settled amicably, it's always better that way. So, you need a person who can, guide you on that, you can go this way and they will settle the claim. But in this entire process, if they have rejected, you have another court that is called ombudsman. Okay, you can go there and you can file your complaint that this company is not settling. And there they can give you a verdict on that.
Okay. Okay, so that you have one like a court that you can go and present the case.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
But usually the going out and fighting by an individual is going to be tough. You will have to take some help. So even if somebody, let's say I just bought that policy online, I don't have an agent or somebody. Is there any agency that will just help me fight a claim? Is that even a service?
Yes, there are many companies or many agencies who do this only. They take the consultancy and they fight.
Okay. Only claim consultancy, is it?
There are only claim consultants also.
Okay, good. So Sujata has one more question. She says, is high BP during an illness, which is only a symptom at that point and not before or after that treatment, considered PED for porting a policy? If BP is during an illness. So, I mean, I'm already having some illness and BP is, during that illness, there's BP also happening. Is that considered? I don't know if I understood that question properly.
I tell you, if you are porting a policy and you have a BP, yes, it is a pre-existing condition.
Okay.
With BP, you say it's it's only BP. I'm taking one medicine and it's nothing there. Okay. But with the BP, lot of things happens.
Okay.
Lot other things can happen, hemorrhage or stroke or kidney failure. There are so many other things can happen. So let's not go on and on all this. I don't want to frighten you with this, all those things. But yes, it is a pre-existing condition.
Okay.
And you have to declare that this is a pre-existing condition, what I am having.
Okay.
And then only you
can. Can I check on this, Bhuvana, if you don't mind?
Yeah, sure. Go on.
Yeah, it's just that the client didn't have BP prior to the illness or after the illness. It's not on any medication before or after, but was on medication only during that period of 1 month during the treatment. So does it still become, because one can have a lower hemoglobin level during an illness, that doesn't become a PED. So similarly, if you've had BP just during that 1 month, does it become a PED?
Okay.
See, what happened, I say, okay, if you have this BP and you have taken medicine for that 1 month, okay, only 1 month or 1.5 months, that's fine, okay, it happens with everything. But you declare that I've been on this medication, now I'm not.
Okay,
you can declare that I am not taking any medication for that. For a particular that period only, I have to take that medication. You can say that.
Okay. So, I mean, then it's up to the company to consider that as a PED or no, or can you dispute it? Or is there a rule to it?
It is a PED. See, understand one thing. Once it happens, it means that it is a PED. Okay, pre-existing condition.
Okay.
But it will cover only after 3 or 4 years only. But at least the company will understand that this condition is already there, and whether I have to give you insurance or not. It is considered. It will be considered as PED only.
It will be considered PED only. Sujata, I hope that
Yes.
answers your question. If you have contracted that once, it will be considered PED only. It's important to declare it to the company. The company may accept the policy, but may exclude it for the PED condition.
Right. But at that point of diagnosis, the patient was already covered for 4 continuous years prior. So does it still become PED then?
No, I am taking.
The
I am just telling you that it's before taking the policy or before porting the policy, not during the policy.
Policy is
If
4
you
years.
already,
Policy
covered
was
under a
already
policy.
4 years old. The diagnosis happened. Now the person wants to port. So does it become a PED for the new company, or because it's already 4 years of cover continuously, can that be excluded?
It will be considered PED.
For porting also?
Yeah, porting also.
Okay. Thanks a lot.
Okay. Okay. Okay, so she says, I hope that clarified. If you have any more questions or more things, you can maybe reach out to Manish yourself. If there are any more questions, we can take them. The last one final question, we are like running out of time at 7:27. So I just wanted to understand what are a few things that we have to look for before buying a health insurance policy. If you have to give us you've been here for so long, what can go wrong? How do we avoid it? Good behavior before purchasing a health insurance policy.
See, if I tell you, you have to see two things. One is their claim ratio. There are two claim ratios. It's not one claim ratio.
Okay.
One claim ratio is called a premium to the claims. It means that if I am collecting 1 crore of premium and I am paying say 70-80 lakh of claim, it means I am a healthy company.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So it's a healthy company because their underwriting process is fine.
Okay.
And if it is a healthy company, it means they are not going to increase their premium, too often. I think I have seen companies where they are coming with the peanuts pricing, and they suddenly they increase their premium. So this happens, but you have to see that. And the second thing is their claim ratio. I mean actual claim ratio. How much they are paying, how much money they are paying. Whether if I have claimed 1 crore rupees and how much they have claimed, how much claim were successful. These are two things what you have to see. Second thing, as you say that it depends upon your need, what exactly you need, and see the different features which is useful to you. Okay, compare 3-4 plans with a good company. The reputations are good, and take an informed decision.
Take an informed decision. So look for reputation of the company, look for features of the product, and primarily look for claim ratio. And Manish has a blacklist. Don't go to those companies.
Thank you.
So I think Manish has been in the industry for long enough. So you might have, we've just managed to get a few pearls of wisdom from you on this particular topic. I'm sure there's a lot more that you have and you've learned through your experiences, not from the books, but from your own experiences handling so many claims. So how do we access all of that wisdom if we want to for our audience? Is there any way we can reach out? Any way do you have any programs, or can we reach out in it?
I have written a book on health insurance. Its name is Know Your Health Insurance.
Know Your Health Insurance.
Know Your Health Insurance. You can download it. It's free, and I have written much in depth in a simple language for a layman.
Okay.
You can download from my website manishbhusa.com.
1 minute. I am going to write it down in the chat box so that people know what we're talking about. Manish, can you repeat your website? Manish, we are losing you. Can you repeat the website?
www.manishbusa.com. MANISHBUSA.
Okay. manishbusa.com. Okay. So
Right.
know your health insurance, www.manishbusa.com. You can find a lot more on health insurance and the nitty-gritties and how do you go about it, picking, claiming, fighting, everything on that particular book. So please reach out. And Manish, is it okay if I can share your phone number to people in case?
Please. Go ahead. And you can reach out to me on busamanish@gmail.com. I'll answer your email queries.
Okay. busamanish@gmail.com is the easiest way to reach out to Manish. And I think it's been an exceptionally good session, Manish. You've shared very important knowledge. COVID, of course, it's troubling us. I don't know, I hope it goes away, but we have to be prepared. Knowing what is there and what is not there itself is liberation. You know,
Yes.
instead of believing that I have this and then finally finding out I don't have it, that's an uncomfortable situation. So we know that PPE is not covered. It costs so much. So that at least we got. What I only want, Manish, is there something that people can do now? Right? Can I go and take an insurance policy now? Are insurance companies willing to give policies right now? What is the mood? Just to get that.
Yeah, they are ready to give. They are providing insurance policies. If you have existing policy, then buy top up. If you do not have insurance, then buy. Don't think. Just go and buy because the time is really, really bad.
Okay.
And you should buy health insurance policy. It will help you a lot.
Okay.
So insurance companies are willing to take you as a customer. Only thing is that you have to go reach out to them and buy insurance.
But how are medicals and all happening? Are they doing it during the lockdown?
Yes, they are doing above certain age. But now the lockdown is not lockdown in Mumbai currently. Okay. The people are roaming around. So the people are coming home and doing the needful, doing the test. They are doing it.
Okay. So if you don't have an insurance policy, don't think, go ahead, take your health insurance policy. Just hope in the next 30 days you don't contract anything. So hope for that. Because there's a 30-day waiting period, and the sooner the better. And if you already have some basic health insurance, take a top-up policy. Your top-ups can go right up to 1 crore. So take sufficient top-up and keep. Right? I think that's something you don't want to miss out. All the wealth creation activity that you've done will go down the drain if one hospitalization happens. So it's a good wealth management strategy to have your health insurance in place. And thank you, Manish, for sharing all these pearls of wisdom. I really appreciate your time, and I hope it was good for all of you. Thank you so much. If you have any suggestions to give us, please do write into us. My email ID is bhuvna@bhuvnashriram.com. You will all get an email with a recording of this session. So you can reply to me on that email. Tell me what more we can talk about. So thank you so much. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being an amazing audience. Thanks, Manish, for all of that you're doing.
Thank you, Bhuvna. Thank you so much for the opportunity. Thanks.
Bye-bye.